What is up, everybody? It is Midwest Raider fans. We are back and I'm ready to go. We got Jimmy. He is in the house and we are ready to give you that rant for week 10 because we're going to be week 11 already. Geez, time's going. But it was week 10 versus the Denver Broncos. We did lose. It was really pitiful. It was like 13-10 and was it 13-10? Yeah, it's 13-10, right?
13-10, yeah.
13-10. So we are going to go into a lot of stuff, but first we got to pay the bills by just saying thank you for tuning into this video. Please stay for the whole video. We're going to be podcast style, just talking about NFL, everything Raiders though, and talking about this recap for the Broncos. That's all we got. We're going to have a later video for the preview coming up this week as well. We have Dallas coming up. So super excited about the recap. Definitely got to let some stuff out. We've had plenty of time to think about this loss, and we definitely have a lot of points to make. Jimmy, go ahead and light us off, and whatever you take from me, I'll cover in on the keys for this loss, and what you thought about the game.
Yeah, good, good. Thank you for having me. Obviously, love doing it. Love talking Raider football. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. We'll reply back, respond, whether we agree, disagree, or we can have a debate. It's good to know. But I'm going to start off before I give you my keys to the loss, because there are many actually. But I'm going to start off with what Geno Smith said during his presser after the game. And he was asked about, JPJ and, linemen getting injured and getting hurt. So he is, quote unquote, his quote is, "We got the next man up mentality around here." Maybe the players do, because before the halftime, or we're right at halftime there, and they were heading into the locker room, and then they talked to Pete Carroll, and they brought up, JPJ looked kind of bad at the time. We didn't know what it was, ankle, obviously, but yeah, it looked bad, and didn't know if it's, season ending, put him on IR, didn't know anything. Then he had, ankle, and he was injured. But Pete Carroll said that we just opened up the floodgates for the pass rush. So that tells me, like, again, and we've talked about this, it's like we have 11 guys. So at the end of this season, pitiful season, we're letting everybody go. Second string, third string, practice squad. Everybody needs to go, because his mentality is, once one of these 11 guys go down, we don't have a game plan. So they're contradicting each other. You have the player, Geno Smith, who's saying, it's next man up mentality. And that's actually, any football team should be that way, because, stuff happens. This is a brutal sport. People get rolled up on, all the time. Even yesterday, Sunday, during watching the games, people got rolled up on. They go out. Some are worse than others. Obviously there's a lot of factors that go into how bad it is. But is it truly next man up, or are we just out there just talking to talk? I'm going to throw that back at you. What are your thoughts there? Because you heard what Pete Carroll said, and he said, open up the floodgates. Now, there's no hope. We have, the backups coming in. And I get what he's saying. Obviously, they're second string for a reason, but at the same time, shouldn't they be able to stand up in there and do their job? I mean, that's what they're paid for. So they're saying two different things. So which one, what do you think? Or what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, absolutely. No, we've talked about this before. I'm right here with you. And we've talked about the coaching. The coaching is definitely a problem right now. It just seems like there's no backup plans. Like I said, I love watching John Gruden, and I'm even watching his channel now. And when he just even does a video on a game, it's an hour long, because he has backup plans to backup plans to backup plans, and he's going over every single player, every single matchup, every single everything. Like, he is down to a science. And like, I don't think Pete Carroll's doing that. I don't think Pete Carroll's remembering some of the stuff that he needs to get done during the day. I don't know if it's old age or what, but yeah, I agree with you, man. We just don't have backup plans. I think we are going to have a good fire sale too at the end of the year, because, evidently these aren't the players that they want, because they don't know what to do. They can't, and they don't want to take the time. Now's the time. Our season's done, honestly. Now's the time to bring in these backup players and see what some of them can do. Rotate them in with the first string. Rotate them in. Maybe that'll give some of our guys a breather and we'll play a little bit better. I don't know. But yeah, they need to work these other players in to find out how they're going to play. It is what it is. So yeah, no, I agree with you, bro.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I thought we were on the same page, like I said. So I wanted to bring that up. Tell us what you think. I mean, like I said, you had two contradicting each other there. So let's get into the horrible Thursday game. If you sat through it like we did, I mean, both teams just look like trash. There's no way that Broncos team looked like they should be 8-2, thinking Super Bowl dreams, and all that. So I'm going to quickly break it down here. Here's what I got for my keys to the loss, because we were in the game. Unfortunately, we just didn't take advantage of some things, and I'll keep it kind of short here. But penalties. So let's talk about Jack Bech wiping out a 32-yard touchdown run. Touchdown run. Obviously horrible. He wasn't even in the play. Had no reason to grab that defender there and do anything. And then Thornton Jr., I'm going to give him a little grace on the pick play. Because, again, that kind of comes down to the refs. I did see it, obviously. I think if he would have just kind of kept running, but he kind of stopped. So it's bad, poor action. But, again, I don't think he's getting the refs to do that play like we just talked about. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I'll give him a little more because the pick play, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Mm-hmm. So I'm not too horribly upset with that. But, again, if we got him in there and we started running this play and practicing it more and doing those things, I'd have gave him, maybe a little more, what are you thinking? But I'll do that. Thornton Jr., I mean, he started off, we watched him in preseason. He had some amazing catches, jumping up 50-50 balls, and he contested balls. We did it the first couple games. He had some great catches. Going since after week 3, we have not seen anything from him. He had that one drop pass right before half where we had the momentum. If he would have caught that, it was a deep pass, deep play. I mean, it could have set us up. We could have scored a touchdown there, or at least had a field goal attempt. But then obviously we had 3rd down, 4th down, and then half. So I think he needs to be better. But again, I think that goes with more reps. And then poor kicking. Carlson, punter did good. I know he had the one block punt, but I mean, we pinned him deep back there twice. Had the one block punt, unfortunately. But Carlson, I mean, missing. It was well in his range. What didn't seem super windy there in Denver country there, in Bronco country. So I don't know why. Yes, it was a little longer, 48, I think, but he still 48. Missed it. And then here I got 2 more, and then I'll kick it over to you. 2 more reasons we lost this game. Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll. And the reason why I'm calling them out is because, hey, can you tell me how many times Brock Bowers was targeted in the second half?
Oh, yeah. 0 times.
0 times.
0 times. 1 in the first quarter. Yeah.
0 times. So how do you go from the week before where we only have one guy on offense, which is Brock Bowers, and you gave Ginty, he had some decent touches last week, had 19. And then you go to this week, and we don't even target him. How do you not target our best, currently the best player on the team? Again, quote unquote, what we've seen anyway. I'm not, obviously Ginty may be more athletic, but I'm not getting into that. Mm-hmm. But apparently last week it was Bowers. And then, then luckily, finally they double teamed him and then you throw it to somebody else. But no targets. That's the coach and the offensive coordinator. Right. And so I have more to speak on our coach and offensive coordinator, why I think we need to let them go. Let them finish out the season. There's no point in bringing that added drama on now. I mean, our season's been done for a while, but I think they have a lot on this loss. Again, I don't think we played good enough to be competing with the Broncos. I think the Broncos probably just kind of overlooked us, and we're thinking about next week's game against, obviously division rival, the Chiefs. So they look horrible. We had our opportunities and just did not take advantage of any of them.
That was a lot there. A lot to process. You hit some of mine too as well, so that's good. Let's go into some of my keys for the loss. And it goes right into what you're saying with Bech. You said what happened. You said what happened with Thornton. I also have to add Ashton Ginty tipped the ball up. It got intercepted. I don't really blame that on Geno as much. So I think it's a rookie game. Honestly, you're seeing rookies in there and you're seeing rookie mistakes. But can we blame the coaching a little bit? Absolutely. We've said this before in other games. I don't know if we're practicing like we should be. I don't know if they practice as much or if they're just doing some walkthroughs and that's it. I don't know if we're really going through the reps like we should, because evidently you're seeing so many mistakes from these rookies. And I know they're rookies, but honestly, we're in week 11 and are they getting the reps? I don't think so. So once again, bad mistakes by rookies. Raiders beating the Raiders because of the rookies, and because I'm not blaming it all on the rookies, but I'm just saying that they are not getting the practice they need. So this also falls on the coaching and Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll and everybody that's coaching the team here. So another thing I want to say is, of course, JPJ went down and Parham went down with those ankle injuries, which left, like you said, the floodgates over. Pete Carroll says. So evidently we don't have any. I want to see some of these rookies that we drafted. We have some drafted rookies and some people that we picked up. I can't think of their name. I thought I wrote them down, but I don't have them here. But that we drafted that we haven't played yet. Let them play. Find out what they can do. I think it's a good time. So coaching, got to go with coaching too with you because and I'm just going to double this up. The dumbest thing that made my mind in this game was the 4th and 2 quarterback sneak. I've never seen that in my life. Chip Kelly, that's a moron move. And I didn't understand it whatsoever. 4th and 2 and a quarterback sneak, which didn't even have a chance to work. So very, very confusing there. That goes with the coaching decisions there. Play calling, we can go into there. And you hit also that Cash Money Carlson is no longer when it comes to field goal kicking, and I'm putting him on a milk carton. Check it out in the shorts because where's he at? Come back. I'm thinking because he's mad. He's mad that Ashton Genty took his number, so because he was number 2 and now he's not. I'm like, get over it and start kicking some field goals. I'm sorry he took your number, but we need to get going again. So the missed field goal was huge. Um, you know, we could have been pretty high scoring, at least 21 points in this game from what I figured on these that went to the end zone, but were called back because of penalties. So pretty painful. Gino was sacked 6 times, getting their records. They have 46 sacks now. It's ridiculous in the time that they have. Gino had a quad injury. We let him continue to play. That was another thing that was bothering me. I don't think he could have protected himself, especially when you're lying. You said it yourself. The floodgates were open. Well, why are you leaving Gino in there that can't protect himself because he has a quad injury and he can't really run very well? So once again, take him out. Let Kenny Pickett finish the game. The game wasn't out of hand, but never in this game did I feel like we were moving along. So like just let Kenny Pickett play and get it done there. Those are most of the reasons that I have for this game. I'm going to let you just add really quick if you have any extras on what I brought up, and then I'm going to go to any positives that we saw in this game.
All right. So before you do that, I'm going to give my little speech of I got 2 little short paragraphs here. One's for Chip Kelly and one on Pete Carroll.
All right.
And here's why. We'll start with Chip Kelly. This is why I believe Chip Kelly should be fired. His once offensive play calling was revolutionary. That is no longer the case, at least not in the NFL. He's predictable. He's ineffective. And part of his major downfalls here is consistency. We have none. We don't know. Are we a running team going to hand Genty the ball, over and over? Are we just going to do it Bowers over and over? Every week it's different of what we get. Clock management. Like we've seen that. We don't have any clock management. This week we were fortunate enough. It was almost 50-50 with the offense and the defense for time of possession there. I want to say the offense had 29 minutes and whatever seconds. So I'm okay with that. But you got to be balanced. We're not balanced. We either do one thing or the other, and then we don't ever go away from it. It's like they don't do anything at halftime to make any adjustments. And obviously, again, that goes with we're predictable of what we're going to do. So I think he needs to go. Maybe he needs to go back to college football. Like you said, you talked about these rookie mistakes. We're halfway through the season. If these guys looked like they did in college, they would not have been drafted as high as they would, if at all. Maybe some free agent signings, practice squad stuff, but we saw things in these guys, and we just, again, inconsistency, excuse me. Yep. And then Pete Carroll. Let's talk about Pete Carroll. His leadership is just, I don't think it's there anymore. I mean, I know he's won national championship at the college level. He's been to a couple Super Bowls. He's even won one. He had winning records there in Seattle, But think of this. Why was he let go at Seattle? Because he's on the downhill, kind of like we talked about this, picking up those old, studs on, whether it's offense, defense, but those old players that, may have got injured or whatever, but then they kind of plateaued and now we're on the downward fall. I think that's where Pete Carroll is. His just coaching style, it's not meshing up with the modern NFL, because he needs to step in and be like, hey, we've been giving Bowers the ball over and over and over, and Bowers, fortunately for us, has been consistent. Once he came back, in that game from his injury, and he was on fire. There's got to be ways to get him the ball, and if not, somebody else has to be open. We got to, we need Tyler Lockett. I thought looked decent, again, but he's an older guy that the Raiders have picked up, kind of, he's already peaked. I don't see him getting up to that level again, kind of plateaued, and now he's probably, unfortunately, on that downward spiral. So again, I'm calling the coaches. The inconsistency on, both sides is just not what it is. Again, we talked about this a couple videos ago about we need to get back to the basics, get back to playing football, because all three aspects, special teams, again, we didn't bring it up, but they fired him, special teams coach.
Yes.
Probably needed to go, along with, again, a couple other people. Fine letting them finish the season out. Don't need the extra controversy of, the interim coach and doing all this. But who's to say? Maybe we do. Puts a little fire under the team's butt. And, then we can kind of see what these guys are made of and what we can do and who we want to hold on to. Who's going to be a future get back to that Raider way that, you've talked about. I've talked about, and then Raider Nation's talked about. Like, we do not look like the Raiders of any past at all. We don't have anything like that brings us to, to be the Raiders.
Gotcha. No.
But yeah, I think, like I said, inconsistency. We just don't know what we're doing out there. And I blame the coaches for that. I think the guys are capable. Yes, maybe we need to work on the line, get some key guys. But again, if it's truly what Gino said, next man up mentality, then we should have a play for that and be ready for those guys. Injuries happen. I don't know any team that's ever made it all the way through a season without having some sort of injury, whether it's minor or major.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, bro. I'm there. I don't know if I'm pretty sure they're not going to fire Pete Carroll. They might fire everybody else. Gino is his guy, so maybe he'll be able to move on from Gino. I don't know, depending on what they can do. But unfortunately, we're kind of stuck with both of them. So we're going to have to make do with that. But maybe we can build around him. At least that's what the good team should do, is if you have a quarterback that you like, then start building around him and figure it out. Maybe we can do that next year. I don't know. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, I'm kind of sick of everything that's going on this year. We don't look good at all. So I am like, let's just move on and try again next year. But I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. So, but we have to move on. Let's go ahead and get into a little bit more positivity and just talk about a few positive things that I saw in the game. The defense played really good. They kept us in the game. They kept Denver 13 points, and Denver scores a lot of points. You've seen them in live game score like 30 points in 11 minutes. So they can get things done, and our defense played true. We had 2 sacks, 2 picks. Kai Blue Kelly really had a good game, and he's been questioned. Like, a lot of people are giving him flack for not playing well, and then he had one of his best games. So very good on the defense. Once again, we talked about AJ Cole had a pretty good game, except that one that got blocked. I think he had one blocked, and then they got it close on their side. Or was that a pick? Maybe that was the pick. I don't know.
No, he kicked it into the helmet. The guy was coming across.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
Well, the defender, for the Broncos guy there, got kicked in the head with the ball, obviously.
All right.
And so it was a block. He didn't have his hand out, but
still kind of bad special team play. But he actually was kicking it very well before that. Coffin kicking him at the 1-5. They were having to get really long drives for the most part, so that was good. That was a positive. Is AJ Cole still playing pretty decent? Defense played pretty decent, and I honestly can't really totally 100% blame this on Gino this game. So I want to say that he was okay in this game. But
yeah, the one pick wasn't his fault.
Yeah, but the play calling is just not there for him, in my opinion. And like you said, they're not doing rolling pockets and other stuff. So that goes back to coaching, but we're not going into that again. What do you think of that?
Yep, no, your positive is pretty much the same thing I was going to say. Defense kept us in this game. If I'm throwing it out there, jumping the gun, maybe my Raider way play of the game is gonna be. I'm gonna give it to Cole. I mean, again, he had more punts that were more helpful than just the one that was blocked. Stuff happens when you're punting all the time. I mean, you had the weird stat of the 22 penalties. I mean, you talk about, you look at paper, each team had 10 first downs. I mean, this game was ours to have. We could have taken this game, and stupid penalties that
Mhm.
caused us, not to pull out that win.
That's all we got for you today, guys. Unless you have anything else, Jimmy, but I just want to wrap it up by saying we love talking football. Love doing the recaps, love doing the previews. Wish they were a little bit more positive with some wins and some cool highlights that we could show you. The best highlight for the play of the game would be a running touchdown by GNT, I think, um, at the beginning of the game. You said your player of the game was AJ Cole kicking some coffin corner type kicks, which were pretty cool. So I don't really think I'll have any highlights for that, but those are our picks for the Raider way play of the game or players of the game this week. And so that's what we got, but it was still 10-13, and we did lose week 10, which puts us at what, 2-7 now.
Two and
So
seven.
yeah, so looking forward to Dallas coming up in week 11 on Monday Night
Monday
Football.
night.
Another chance for us to be in prime time and for people to take a look at us. And so I hope we just don't take a giant dive again because it's a bad look. We need a positive game in any way we can, even if it's like the Jaguars game where we, go tit for tat and then come up short. I'd rather watch that game than this really struggle game that we struggled the whole time, but I really never had confidence that we were going to go over that hump at any time in this game. So that's all we got. Jimmy, if you have any last words, go ahead and bring it in, and then we'll just wrap it on up.
Yeah, nope, sounds good. Like I said, sorry so negative this time, but you just got to get it off your chest. But
Yep.
excuse me, like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment. We love talking Raider football.
Like, subscribe, share, and as always, go
Go Raiders.
Raiders. All right, later, guys.